Our first story tonight, Pfizer is asking federal regulators to allow their COVID vaccine for use on children ages 5 through 11. Now, if approved, this could mean vaccinations for about 28 million children nationwide, according to research done by Pfizer and biotech. Children within that age group should receive 1/3 of the dose given to adults. In a study of 2,200 children between the ages of 5 through 11, no children experienced serious side effects from receiving a lower dose. However, the study is not large enough to conclude if the vaccine is completely safe. An expert debate will take place October 26th on the safety of COVID vaccines for children. Well, a federal judge has called Texas' most restrictive abortion law an offensive deprivation and has ordered for the law to be suspended. Yet some clinics are still performing these procedures. Now, the order was put into effect Wednesday by U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman. He's the first to threaten Senate Bill 8, which was actually withstood many challenges following its passing in May. Now, in the 113-page document, Pittman says that from the moment the SB 8 went into effect, women have been unlawfully prevented from exercising control of their lives in ways that are protected by the U.S. Constitution. Some organizations, such as Whole Women's Health, have resumed abortion services in Texas following the restriction from federal court. Staying in Texas, the family of the 18-year-old suspect charged in the latest school shooting that left 4 people injured is coming to his defense. The family of Timothy George Simpkins says that he had been bullied and was recently robbed. Simpkins faces multiple counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after police reported that he opened fire at Timberview High School in Arlington yesterday. Now, later, he turned himself in after police say that he fled the school grounds, leading to a manhunt that lasted hours. Simpkins has since been released after posting bond today. And now to shocking body camera footage, which captures Minneapolis police officers discussing hunting protesters during the unrest that took place after the killing of George Floyd last year. Let's take a listen.
How's a busy night?
It's nice to hear that we've moved to tonight. It was just nice to hear. We're going to go find some more people instead of chasing people around.
Yeah.
We're going to hunt. You guys are out hunting people now, and it's just a nice change of tempo.
Yep, agreed.
These people.
Wow, it's so unacceptable. Well, the newly released footage shows police patrolling and using rubber bullet rounds on protesters to disperse the crowd, while allegedly rejoicing and making their remarks during an anti-police brutality protest just 5 days after George Floyd's death sparked reactions from around the world. The attorneys of Jaylani Hussein, a black man who officers shot rubber bullets at, released these clips. Now, Stallings, who had a permit to carry, shot back at police with a real gun. After police rushed him, well, they continued to beat Stallings for about 30 seconds. He was acquitted last month of 8 criminal charges, including second-degree attempted murder. So joining me now is Jaylani Hussein. Now, he is the executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations in the Minnesota branch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Jaylani, after seeing that body camera footage that we just showed everybody and everything else surrounding this particular case, what do you make of it all?
Well, this is what we heard from many of the protesters. This is what we saw happen immediately after the killing of George Floyd. And what a lot of people need to maybe are not aware of is that we also had an attack, an onslaught on our communities, particularly the areas that have been burned were predominantly areas where businesses were occupied by people of color. And we saw immediately white supremacists, the Boogaloo Boys and others coming. So we had community members just like Mr. Stalling and others who were actually defending their property and they're defending their homes and lives. And you see here clearly the Minneapolis Police Department being ordered to go hunt in unmarked cars and literally shooting at civilians without any warning and them not being even a threat. And unfortunately, I think this is kind of the tip of the iceberg because there's a lot of things that have happened, and I'm glad it's surfacing. And this is why we need to really at this moment right now for people not to go back and sleep, because we need to make change. And this is happening here in Minneapolis, but it's also happened, I'm probably sure, to happen in many parts of this country.
Well, we know it definitely happens, and we're glad we have the footage to prove it. But when you look at this footage, how would you categorize what you're seeing in this video? You talked a little bit about it, but is it simply just loose-lipped police officers caught on tape, or is there a larger systematic issue when we talk about this with, body camera footage and people actually turning off their cameras when they are having discussions like this?
Absolutely, and we know that the body cameras now that they capture certain things, but there are also a lot of things that are not captured because, as you just said, they also conceal in some of the more heinous things that they want to do. So I'm glad that this was covered. Entire idea of how police started out as going and hunting slaves and who were seeking freedom. And so here you go, this hunting message repeating, which is really what has been for many of us who have been asking for transformation and really a change. It does send back to a lot of people a very dark place. And again, this is what has been happening in these communities. And here you have a clear order to go hunt peaceful protesters instead of going after the threat, the onslaught that particularly the city of Minneapolis and the black residents received immediately after the uprising, which was actually from white supremacists. You saw that in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with this young man who had a rifle, and the police didn't even stop him, but they went after peaceful protesters. And so I think this is part of a bigger picture that we need to start to analyze now. What we saw in January 6th compared to what we've seen, the way the police treats Black Lives Matter protesters and other protesters alike. And so and again, the Minneapolis leadership saying that they're going to do something, but they haven't done anything. So we need to see the full evidence. And right now, the Minneapolis Police Department is under the Department of Justice investigation. And from just the initial conversations that we have heard from community members, including the organization that's leading some of this effort, the Communities United Against Police Brutality here in Minnesota, actually found out a member of our community who has been killed because he was initially struck by these rubber bullets that they say that are less lethal, who actually died from those injuries. So there is a lot to come from this incident, but I think people need to wake up. There's a lot of things that have happened, and here you see clearly instruction to go hunt peaceful protesters.
Yeah, and I have to ask you, you've said that you've asked for change and protested for that, but, what is your organization, as well as other organizations and groups, what are they doing to put more pressure on the police, on lawmakers, to prevent and, and actually help reform the kind of policing that we're seeing, because we keep seeing it over and over and over again?
Well, we've been part of a larger coalition that has been pushing for police accountability bills in the state of Minnesota. And I'm sad to report that this year, Democrats who claimed that they were in support of this change actually passed the toughest laws against anyone who assaults police officers instead of passing laws that hold police accountable. But there is a silver lining in Minnesota that I think people should be paying attention to, and it's not happening in Minneapolis. It is actually happening in Brooklyn Center. The leadership there, which is under Mayor Mike Elliott, a black mayor, and 2 black women councilwomen have led efforts to actually start the process of a very strong resolution to do less harm. And that resolution passed. It's named after Dante Wright and Colby Heisler. And I think cities across the country should look at this resolution and look at what the merits of the resolution, which is to pretty much end this type of low-level stops, to provide support for mental health, to have mental health actual other officers there, and again, to address the real issue, which is really to do less harm by these police officers. And that's the type of change that I think people need to see. But when in Minneapolis and in the state of Minnesota, it is still perhaps one of the worst places for black people in this country.
Well, we are prayerful that you will continue fighting the good fight and stirring up some good trouble out there. Jaylani, thank you so much for joining us today. All right, and be sure to join this conversation. We want to hear from you all at home. Head over to our BNC Instagram and Twitter pages and let us know how you feel. Also, visit our website, bnc.tv, and subscribe to our YouTube page to check out clips from the show.